Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. This is JB.
And I'm Chandler, and this is the Unbiased Hard Take. On today's Unbiased Hard Take, we're going to talk about Week 3 a little bit. Me and JB, as we always do, are going to go around and talk about one topic that we think in Week 3 was a big topic or a big headline. JB, I'm going to pull table to you. What's one thing from Week 3 to you that stood out?
Well, for starters, the Dolphins. I mean, how can we not forget about the Dolphins? Killing the Denver Broncos.
Literally.
And then on, was it Sunday night? No, it wasn't Sunday night. Whatever day it was, whatever time it was, Kansas City also killed the Chicago Bears. So now,
Sunday.
Yeah. So now we're have to try to figure out who's the worst team in the NFL right now. Is it the Denver Broncos? Or is it the Chicago Bears? We don't know. But we're going to see this week in Week 4 where this is going to be the matchup of the century of the two worst teams battling out.
The Toilet Bowl.
Who knows? We might give them a trophy later on, see who wins.
Is it going to be like a turd? Those
Yeah.
Turd emojis? Do one of those.
Yeah, we'll give him one of those.
But I mean, yeah, you're right. That was 70 points, man. 70.
Yeah.
They could have broke the record had they wanted to. They could have broke that record.
Oh yeah, they could. And they could have. But they decided to kneel. I forgot what yard line they were on, but the kicker could kick the field goal, and I guess the team decided it's like, yeah, we just want to take the kneel and be done with it. And they didn't want to tie anything, so I don't know what that was all about, but
well, okay, so you know these coaches talk. They go to these annual meetings, they have relationships. You don't want to go out there and embarrass somebody. Like, I mean, you already embarrassed them, but you don't want to make it worse. Because one day, every team goes through it. You're going to get your ass kicked too.
Mm-hmm.
Every team gets their ass kicked eventually, and you don't want that person to do it to you. So I think a lot of it's just respect for other coaches, other players, stuff like that. I think that's just, you've already accomplished your goal. You didn't walk in there expecting to score 70 points. You came in wanting to win. You've already accomplished that goal. Move on.
Yeah. But who knows?
That's 70 points. The record's 73.
Yep.
Has to be noted. I was going to talk about the Dolphins this morning. However, for Week 3, I'm going to start on a good note, and then we'll transition to the negative. So, I want to talk about Week 3, them Green Bay Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Coming back 17-0 in the fourth quarter. Largest comeback in Packers history. That includes an era of Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. And it was Jordan Love's first start at Lambeau. Down 17-0. Offense couldn't get crap going. Then he goes out there and for a total 259 yards, the dude had 2 touchdowns total, one on the ground running it in against New Orleans and one in the passing as well. Romeo Doubs again in the Saints game, 73 yards, 5 catches. And Rashawn Gary, who's coming back from that knee injury, 3 sacks. And he knocked Derek Carr out. Hope you're doing well, Derek Carr. Never like to see that. However, Rashawn Gary with 3 sacks. Good to see the Pro Bowl pass rusher like his normal self again. So then Packers, man, that was good to see. That was a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be a nasty loss for the Packers, but they came back and fought it.
Yep, and that's a clutch gene. That's a clutch gene.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Jordan Love was able to do that against an elite defense, against what a lot of people consider the future NFC South champions in the Saints, I think so. And they were able to go out there and score 18 points in the fourth quarter. They converted a 2-point conversion or so, and that was a big risk by Matt LaFleur, but it paid off. I was really impressed with how LaFleur called that game. Then Packers, Jordan Love's that real deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's actually looking really good.
However, speaking of the Packers, me and JB, of course, with life, and we're doing our podcast today, life, work schedules, all that, doing the podcast today. So we put on our Facebook, on the Unbiased Hard Takes Facebook, our predictions for Detroit Green Bay before the game started, so y'all didn't think we were cheating.
Yep, look at the
That's right.
timestamp.
That's right. Look at the timestamp. Me and JB both had Detroit. As you guys can see above the screens here, there was 2 games that me and JB were different on last week, and it looks like your boy Chandler here got them 2 right with the Bengals-Rams game and the Patriots-Jets. So I'm standing at 33-15, and JB over there at 30-18. Relatively, only a 3-game difference. Still pretty close. I need a little bit more wiggle room. More wiggle room. Speaking of this Detroit Green Bay game, JB, give me a breakdown on why you picked Detroit and what you thought of last night.
Oh, why did I pick Detroit? Well, for starters, they're coming in hot.
Yes.
You seen how they played against the Atlanta Falcons when the Packers lost to Atlanta Falcons. And their Jared Goff is looking good. Their rushing wasn't too good because Atlanta does have a good rushing defense, but their passing game is on the downslope. And for that, Amari St. Brown had 102 receiving yards. Yeah, he had a good game. I think he only had 102 rushing or catching. But yeah, and Mark Gibbs only had 80 yards. But for that being said, Detroit's looking really good.
Oh yeah.
We'll just keep that simple. They're looking good. They're looking fantastic. Jared Goff is probably looking at one of his best years that he has had his whole career so far, in my opinion. Like, even though he looked good last year, even though they kind of fell short last year, but he's actually looking really, really good.
Yes. Jared Goff, and people forget that man's played in the Super Bowl. I mean, last year the Lions started the season really, really horrible, and they ended it really well. So they ended on a good streak, and unfortunately they beat the Packers in Lambeau last year to eliminate us from playoff contention.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
But yeah, ever since they started hot close to the end of the season to actually try to get in, but they had so much stuff that they had to go through to actually get in, but it did not go their way.
No.
But they started hot at the end of the season last year, and they're still continuing, and they're going upwards.
Yes.
So
for me, the Green Bay game last night, I'm not surprised they lost. By the Unbiased Facebook, you can see and we can prove that I had Detroit winning this game. I'm on record. I'm not going to overreact to one game because I predicted, pretty much everyone has predicted that the Lions will win the division.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the Packers will win the wild card. Will be the last wild card team. Detroit, unfortunately, is easily the best team in this division. The Vikings are 0-3, horrible start. The Bears are 0-3. They're pathetic. I mean, my God, they're always pathetic. Pathetic organization. Yeah. Worst fan base in sports. Anyway, we won't talk about that. So I'm not surprised the Packers lost last night. I'm disappointed in how the offensive line played. Jordan Love, that poor man. Were you watching the game where Love was in the end zone and he was getting ready to get sacked for a safety? He had the ball in his right hand, had to put it in his left hand and fling it to the running back for a 1 or 2 yard completion.
I did see that.
Right. So this dude was getting hit the moment he got the ball. His receivers weren't even able to get downfield. He wasn't even able to properly read the defense that first half, especially the first half.
That first half looked horrible.
Yeah, the offensive line could not block worth a shit. And speaking of that, David Bakhtiari, he got to go. I am tired of him. He is the laziest, most overrated left tackle I have ever seen. The dude didn't do anything in training camp for veterans rest. And LaFleur goes, well, we don't really need him to. He played 1 game against the Bears and then magically shows up on the injury report, and now he's on IR for 4 games. He did this last year. The dude is the very definition of part-time. I hate David Bakhtiari. Maybe a little more than Joe Barry, because at least Joe Barry shows up. I suck, but at least he shows up. David Bakhtiari, he's got to go. He's given up on the team. He got paid, and now his hunger's gone. And I'll say it, he's kind of lazy. Kind of lazy.
Gotta hate
Really
those
though,
players.
right. Last night with the Packers, I mean, Jordan Love, 2 total touchdowns, 1 in the air. He passed it to Christian Watson for a touchdown, and he also ran 1 in for a touchdown as well. Romeo Doubs had 9 catches for 95 yards. He's a beast. So Jordan Love's the real deal. 2 total touchdowns, 2 interceptions for the night. He has 3 interceptions on the season, 8 touchdowns. So he is the real deal. He's also ran a few in. So I think he's going to be just fine. I worry about our running game. We haven't been able to run the ball with a crap all season long.
Yeah, and it's just getting started.
Right. So I hope we're able to improve that. I think last night Aiden Hutchinson was just a little too much, especially with Bakhtiari. Fuck you, Bakhtiari, and Elkin Jenkins. So 2 of our best linemen are out. On top of having Aiden Hutchinson on the opposite side of the field, that was a bad recipe. So I'm not surprised Green Bay lost. I am surprised by how piss poor the pass protection was.
Yeah, it was nasty, especially the first half. Second half got a little bit better, but I mean, it was disgusting.
Had they not gotten down 24-3 so quickly, that third quarter they played relatively well. They stopped the Lions on a couple drives. Love took it down for a big touchdown drive. They made a 2-point conversion that worked out. So I mean, they had some moments. Did you see that third down play right at the end of the third quarter when clock expired?
Mm-hmm.
And he threw that ball. That was a perfect pass. Perfect pass. So he's making throws. I think we got to cut down on some of the interceptions a little bit, but he's making throws. He's making plays. He's won us a couple games. He came back already. He's the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to something less depressing. Sunday football in London, isn't it?
It's in London.
London, 9:30 a.m. Morning football. Who you got? Falcons or the Jags?
Ooh. Well, the Jags kind of disappointed me last week against Houston.
That was a surprise to everybody.
Because they took a massive fall. And CJ Stroud actually looked fantastic last week. He looked like his old college self.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
And then the Jaguars, they felt like kind of screwed me over on this one.
Me too.
I'm going to go with the Atlanta. I'm going to land on this one.
Okay.
I think Atlanta is too, I want to say not too good, but I think they have enough firepower to actually stop the Jaguars just because of how poorly they played last game for Jacksonville. Yeah, that's probably just a simple fact of they kind of shot the bed.
Then some.
Yeah, and then some.
Literally.
So, I'm going with Atlanta.
Okay. See, these last few weeks, me and you pretty much been on the same page on everything. For the most part. We've had a couple games. I think, 3 games total in 2 weeks we were different on. That's it.
Yep.
Well, we're starting out different. Because I have the Jaguars winning this game. I'm not going to, like I said, the Green Bay game, overreact on them losing to Houston. It's a division game. These teams know each other well. Division teams, as you know, always play each other great. Even back in the days with Roethlisberger and the Steelers, when they were winning Super Bowls, but the Browns were terrible. The Browns at least played them well always.
Yep.
Because it's a division game. Division teams play better against division opponents. I think Jacksonville probably went in there a little too cocky, a little too arrogant, and thought they were going to be able to walk in there and just win. And I think they got surprised. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to they're going to focus in a little bit because he hasn't really played that poorly, Trevor Lawrence. And they still have Zay Jones. They still have Calvin Ridley. So there's not really a lot of things they're missing. And Desmond Ridder and that passing attack in Atlanta, I don't think is good enough to keep up with Trevor Lawrence and the offense. I think the Atlanta can run the ball really well down your throat. The issue, I think, with Atlanta is Jacksonville will get 10 to 14-point lead, and they'll have to stop running the ball so much. And Desmond Ridder is not going to be able to pull you out of that hole.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence and the Jacks here.
Okay.
All right, we already starting out different. Here's a big one.
Yep.
Because this one right here, I went back and forth on. I really, really did. All right, Miami Dolphins or the Buffalo Bills?
Ooh. And this one's a tricky one.
Yes, it is. You could argue either one.
It's either or, but Miami's offense is too powerful. I honestly, I really don't know who can stop the Miami Dolphins offense right now. I mean, we sure know Denver can't.
Denver can't stop a nosebleed.
No.
High school team would have scored 20 points on them the other day.
Oh yeah.
That's
easy.
Embarrassing.
But, and like I said, the Dolphins has a good defense, but it's not that good against a high power offense. Because look at the Chargers. They had a high powered offense with Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams as the probably one of the best receiver duo, in my opinion. If they're both hurt, it's trouble.
Mike Williams is already hurt.
Yeah. So like I said, but said if when they are healthy, they are the best wide receiver duo. But give me Miami.
Okay.
Just because that their offense is way too much for the Buffalo.
Okay. So you think their offense is just a little too much?
It's a little too much for them.
See, I don't think they're going to go out there and score 70 more points.
Yeah, I don't think either, but it's...
I think with the Dolphins, I'm on record with this podcast before saying I think they're going to really excel earlier in the season. They have a lot of players with injury history. They're kind of a finesse team. They have a high-powered passing attack, like you said, but their defense is kind of, I would say, middle of the pack, maybe slightly below average. I think as the weather gets a little worse, they will get a little worse. Kind of like they did this exact same thing last year.
Mm-hmm.
They started out hot. The Dolphins last year started out hot, and then they faded as the season went on. I think that's exactly the case this time. But we're only in week 4. And Buffalo looks really, 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 really good too. You take away that when they shit the bed against the Jets on opening Monday night when they lost to Zach Wilson somehow. They came back against the Raiders and whooped that ass 38-10, and then the Commanders 37-3. I predicted Buffalo to win this division. I predicted Miami to be a wild card. I'm not going to sell that stock. I think Miami has a better offense than Buffalo does. I think Buffalo has a better overall team. I think Buffalo's defense, Sean McDermott's defensive head coach, they're going to at least be able to hold them to 25 to 30 points. I think Josh Allen and his offense is good enough, especially at home in Buffalo, this game's in Buffalo, to be able to match what Tua does. If I'm starting a franchise right now, I'm taking Josh Allen over Tua. That's just me. So with that, the quarterback's better. The defense is better. Give me the Buffalo Bills.
Ooh, okay.
In a very, very, very offensive game and high-scoring game, give me Miami 30, Buffalo 33. I think both teams are going to score a lot of points. I think Josh Allen is a better quarterback than Tua. Give me Buffalo.
Okay.
All right. This one This one might be definitely a little easier. Who you got? Minnesota Vikings or the Carolina Panthers?
Ooh.
Maybe we'll agree on one finally.
Both teams are 0-3.
Are the Panthers 0-3?
Yep, Panthers are 0-3.
Oh, wow. It doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't feel like it, but they sure are.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? That doesn't feel like it.
Because they should have won against Seattle. They should have won against the Saints, but stuff happened and...
Oh, Bryce Young being hurt last game against Seattle definitely didn't help their case.
Yep. I don't know if he's still hurt. They say he's feeling great, so...
Oh, yeah. Well, according to Ian Rappaport, Panthers coach Frank Reich tells reporters that Bryce Young ankle will practice. They worked him out yesterday, and he seems to be doing well. That was 2 days ago. So he has been practicing.
So
he's on track to start. It says because he practiced in full, putting him on track to start. So likelihood is he will start.
Good. But I don't think that's not enough to stop the Minnesota Vikings and the Kirk Cousins and the Justin Jefferson. Give me Minnesota.
Okay.
Give me Minnesota on this one. Just the fact that Bryce Young still hasn't found himself yet in the league, even though he already has a history of getting hurt already with his ankle. Who knows? It might be injured again in the near future. Who knows? But he's already injury prone. So give me Minnesota just because he hasn't found his spot yet.
And I mean, I'm pretty much on the same page as you. As much as I hate the Vikings, and boy, do I hate the Vikings. But really, their offense is not their problem right now. I mean, right now, Kirk Cousins has a 69.6% QBR, over 1,000 passing yards, 9 TDs, 2 picks, and 108.2 QBR.
Mm-hmm.
Their offense is not their problem. Really, they could very well be 3-0. You look at the games that they have lost, and they lost by 3 against the Buccaneers, they lost by 6 against the Vikings, and then they ended up losing by 4 to the Chargers. So each game they've lost has been by less than a score. So
yeah,
they could very well be 3-0. They're not. They're 0-3. Last year, if you remember, they won a lot of close games.
Yep.
This year, they're in a lot of close games, but unfortunately for them, amazing for me, they're losing these close games this year rather than winning them like they did last year.
Yeah.
I think Minnesota's the more talented team. I think Minnesota has the better quarterback. They have the better receiving core. They have the better coach. Yeah, give me the Vikings to get their first win of the season. You ought to mark this one down, Vikings fans, because I don't give credit too much to you guys, but I am unbiased, so give me the Vikings.
Okay.
All right. Moving over to the toilet bowl.
Oh, goody.
A toilet bowl. Toilet. The Denver Broncos or the shit Chicago Bears?
This one's a real tough one.
Yes.
A real tough one. Who is going to get their first win? And actually coming back from a basically a not existent score. Give me the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
I think this is the game that Russell Wilson will actually show up and show us that he is the guy, and actually coming back from his I want to say his prime back in Seattle for one game. And it's going to be this game.
Okay.
And I think the rest game is just going to go plumble down. But I think this is where he will shine against the Chicago Bears defense. He's going to tear them apart. Yeah, and the Bears, they have, I think the the Broncos has a better defense. They have a better offense than the Chicago Bears. On paper, they have a better team.
Yeah, it's on paper. I would agree with that.
So, hands down, give me the Denver Broncos.
Okay. See, I went back and forth on this a little bit myself because, God, both of these teams look like trash.
Mm-hmm.
Both teams last week, my God, the Bears, they got obliterated. They got obliterated by the Kansas City Chiefs. But, my God, the Broncos got obliterated worse. 70-20. And here I am looking like a freaking moron because last week I was sitting here going, yeah, I think the Broncos defense will be able to stop the Miami offense good enough to keep it close. Well, I was wrong. I was very wrong. And
That's the exact opposite.
But you look at both these teams. So they're both playing poorly.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at Russell Wilson. His stats for this season are better than last year. 6 touchdowns, 2 picks, 99.5 QBR. So his QBR is up, his touchdowns are up, his completion percentage is up 5 points. Yeah, almost 5 points. So he's looking a lot better. Sean Payton has improved Russell Wilson. The issue is you're asking Sean Payton to go out there and change a culture, change a locker room, fix Russell Wilson, and they lost a lot of players on defense. And look at their defense right now. Their defense does not look good. Their defense does not look good at all. But on the other side, who would you rather have as your head coach, Sean Payton or Matt Eberflus?
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton. Who would you rather have as a quarterback? Take the salary away. Simply the quarterback. Justin Fields or Russell Wilson?
Well, that's easy. Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson. So with that being said, I'm taking the Broncos here. I think last week was obviously an embarrassment, and I don't think that's going to happen again.
Yeah.
Because you look at the defenses, the Bears have the second worst defense in the league. They're averaging 32.5 points a game. The Broncos are averaging 26 points a game. Because you look at their games before this. So ignore the 70-20 game. They only allowed 17 against the Raiders. They did allow 35 against the Commanders. So this Bears game is going to be a big game for them. I do think they're able to bounce back, though.
Mm-hmm.
Moving past the toilet bowl. And hey, speaking of toilets, Cleveland Browns or the Baltimore Ravens?
Ooh, another division. We're starting off hot with the division, and even though they came out with a loss against the Colts because they went off and they should have won that game against the Colts.
Yes, they should have.
But oh man, this is going to be a tough one because the Browns, they look good against who did they face last week? Tennessee. They looked really good against Tennessee. But are they going to keep this streak up?
That's the big money question.
Are they going to keep it up against a division rival? I don't think so. Give me Baltimore.
Huh?
Give me the unanimous MVP quarterback, Lamar Jackson, leading the way to the victory.
Okay. And you see, this is why this is a lot of fun. because we're different on this one. So I think Deshaun Watson has had some questionable moments. He's thrown some really piss-ass balls. He's threw really in every game. He's had some moments where he just hasn't looked like himself. But if
And
you
he never
look at
will.
this, I don't think he ever will ever again.
Nope.
But you look at this, the Browns defense, they're actually ranked second in the league. Averaging 14.5 points a game. Second in the league behind the Dallas Cowboys. They're ahead of the 49ers. And then you look at their offense so far in the season, and they are actually 2 spots ahead of the Ravens, and they also have more yards for the season, 1,099. The Ravens have 1,044. The Browns are averaging 366 yards a game, the Ravens 348. So the Browns have a better rated offense, they have a better rated defense, and Deshaun Watson is no rookie quarterback. He has shown he's capable. The only thing that worries me is not having Nick Chubb, but I think with Kareem Hunt being added, and they showed last week that they were capable of beating at least a solid Titans team. I wouldn't call the Titans good. I would at least call them mediocre, probably. So they beat at least a respectable franchise without Nick Chubb out there. So I think the Cleveland Browns will be able to win this. They have a better defense. Myles Garrett is one of the best pass rushers in the league. Give me the Browns. What the Ravens did last week, they lost to Gardner freaking Minshew and the Colts at home. And they have a lot of injuries right now on top of it. Cleveland's going to win this game to me. Okay. God, we not seen eye to eye today. But that'll make the standings a lot more fun for next week.
Exactly.
So with that, here's one. Homeboy Steelers, the Houston Texans. Now think about this a little bit. Really?
Houston actually looked good last week against the Jaguars.
Yes, they did.
But now, here is the question. Is the defense good enough?
For the Texans? That's the kicker.
And
that's the kicker.
Is the Pittsburgh Steelers pass rush is going to get to C.J. Stroud a lot quicker than what they expected? Because if you look at their last games, the Ravens, they really don't have good pass rushers. The Colts really don't have good pass rushers. And the Jaguars really don't have good pass rushers. And right now, they're facing the Pittsburgh Steelers, probably one of the best duo pass rushers in the game right now, Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt. Right. And you're facing pretty good stacked corners, even though we couldn't even guard Davante Adams. But I mean, honestly, as Davante Adams, what can you do?
Right. Davante Adams is the best receiver in football. He's going to be able to get his. That's actually probably an unpopular opinion. If you give me any NFL receiver to start a team with, I'm taking Davante Adams.
Oh yeah, me here. Me too. But with that being said, I mean, even though we did get 3 picks off of Jimmy Garoppolo, 2 out of Levi Wallace and 1 for Patrick Peterson. He finally got his one interception in as a Steeler. So good job, Pat Pete. Proud of you, buddy. Our veteran. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay. I don't think the Houston's offense cannot stand or withstand the pass rush against the Pittsburgh Steelers, what they have right now.
And I 100% agree with you. While I think C.J. Stroud is, like you said, he looked really good last week. They got their first win. He got his first win as a starter. Congratulations for that. So I think C.J. Stroud is on the rise up. But with T.J. Watt in his face, that Steelers defense, Mike Tomlin coaching that defense. So you look at the Steelers defense this season, and right now they currently hold... they're actually a lower rated defense this season. slightly. Actually, the Broncos have a better rated defense, and they're both averaging 26 points a game.
Not right now. Not right now for the Denver Broncos.
Well, they are 26 a game because you average it out for all 3 games. So if you look at all 3 games, but a lot of that is based off of a 70-20 score, and a lot of that's also based off of a ass kicking in week 1 by the Niners. But that pass rush in Pittsburgh is elite. TJ Watt is on pace to be the defensive player of the year, 6 sacks, has a sack every single game. So I think a rookie quarterback like that pass rush in Pittsburgh, that defense, so long as Matt Canada doesn't go out there and totally crap the bed and shit his pants, I think the Steelers should win this game easily. Look at him. Here he goes again.
I don't want to get into it.
I think the defense shouldn't be an issue, but my worry is Matt Canada. But you look last game, the Steelers offense did look a lot better.
It did. I mean, there was better play calling a little bit. But I'm going to say this, though. How many times that there was, he did the exact same formation, exact same play, a few downs later, and they stopped it.
I know.
Why would you think that would be a good option?
Well, it's not a good option.
I'm not going to get into this. I'm not. So I'm just going to say fire Canada. If he's not at the end of this season, I swear to God, he better be. If not, I'm pretty sure the whole entire Steelers fan base is going to get in the office and force him out. And I'll be one of them.
Listen, but they did look a little better. Pickett had 2 touchdowns, no picks. They hit some big plays to George Pickens and Calvin Austin III. So they hit some big plays. So we'll see this week. But I don't think Matt Canada is incompetent enough to lose to Houston.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But
well, we're on the same page. We both got Pittsburgh. Here's another one: LA Rams or the Indianapolis Colts.
And for this one, I don't think Anthony Richardson is playing.
I'm not 100%. I think it's still up in the air. Let's see here. For the second straight day, Colts listed Anthony Richardson as a full participant in practice, putting him on track to play Sunday versus the Rams. This was reported 20 hours ago, so he's looking like he's going to play.
And then apparently Jonathan Taylor is playing, or probably going to be playing.
Is it his first week back?
I think so. He said he's looking great in workouts. Eligible to return Monday. Actually, no, that's probably next week.
Yeah.
So maybe.
So
he might be back, but not at this moment. But
well, he has to miss the first 4 games. So this will be his last game missing. So long as he returns next week, this will be his last game he has to sit out.
Mm-hmm. So, but he's eligible to return Monday. So.
Right.
So, but since Jonathan Taylor's still not playing, and it looks like Ryan Kelly is going to be returning as well, so that's good for their the Colts offensive lineman or offensive line. But I have to go with the Rams on this one.
Oh, okay.
Even
That's
though
not where I thought you would go with. That's not where I thought you would go.
Even though Anthony Richardson is still young, he's a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I could already see there is huge potential in him. But I don't think he's not ready to face a Aaron Donald defense. So, and I think Matthew Stafford, and I still can't pronounce that receiver's name. I am not even going to try it anymore.
Try it.
I'm not going to try it.
Oh,
I'm just going to call him Puka.
Puka.
So with Puka being there, Cooper Kupp still being an IR, I mean, it's not looking good. Yeah, against week 5 is when he's going to come back. So it's going to be a while for him to come back. But with Puka still in there, give me the Rams.
Okay. See, there's going to be a lot of shakeups in the standings next week, man, because we're all on a different one again. Because I have the Colts winning this game. I think that win last week against Baltimore was extremely impressive. That was a very gutsy win. Gardner Minshew came out there. You remember Fitzpatrick? Obviously you do. It's magic.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm telling you, Minshew's that new magic. Minshew magic, because he went out there and beat a Ravens team they had no reason to beat.
Yep, I agree.
Who would have thought the Colts would beat the Ravens? No, not me. Especially without Anthony Richardson. But he's supposed to be back this week, and I have him. I said it before the season started, before the draft happened on this podcast, that Anthony Richardson is the best quarterback in this draft class. The Colts are in good hands with him. I think he's going to win a Super Bowl for them in the future. I really do. I think he is that good. And so long as Jonathan Taylor can, how do I say this nicely without hurting your feelings? Stop being a little bitch and stop complaining. Just go out there and play the game. You signed your contract. Go play.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to get out there. You need to play. He's holding his team hostage right now. He's not being there for the guys. I understand holding out training camp, but I don't understand why you would miss season. Why you want your money, but you're literally giving up money right now by not playing.
Right.
I don't like that. That's not my style. I'm a team first guy, but even with him out, Richardson looks really, really, really good. He has 4 total touchdowns, 3 on the run, and I hate saying that because a touchdown's a freaking touchdown. Who cares how you score it? So he has 4 total touchdowns, 1 total turnover, 1 interception, 0 lost fumbles. So he's had a really, really good start to the season. I think with him being back, the Colts are building off of that momentum against Baltimore. Rams aren't really a contender. They're way worse than the Ravens are. So give me the Colts.
Okay. Man, this is the most that we had so far.
This is the most this season that we've had different. Easily, because we've been on the same page most of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse my cough, everyone recovering from a cold. I'm sure you all noticed on my last short take. Okay, moving forward. Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the New Orleans Saints?
Well, Derek Carr's not playing, so that's going to be a huge downfall. Let's see. They probably don't have. Alvin Kamara is not coming back until week.
He's back now.
Oh, he's back?
This is his first game he can play.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So he's back. He's on my fantasy team too. Because right now, for the viewers, I've been very unfortunate. I have Saquon Barkley on my fantasy team. I also drafted Nick Chubb. But I had Alvin Kamara, who I also drafted, who's back. So that is good for my fantasy team. He's back.
So even if Alvin Kamara's back, I do believe he's going to be rusty. It's been a while. Baker Mayfield is on the rise.
Baker Tom Brady Mayfield.
Tom Brady 2.0 right here.
Jesus Christ.
Since Derek Carr's not playing and Alvin Kamara is getting his rust off, I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on this one.
Okay. AB has Tampa Bay. Is that the reason why? Because there's no Derek Carr mainly?
No Derek Carr mainly, and just because Alvin Kamara hasn't played in I don't know how long at this point.
That's 3 games.
So
3 games. He was suspended for beating someone up, pretty much. Truly is what it is. In the Pro Bowl a couple of years ago. Yeah, that's this suspension is for.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh my God. Because here we go again. Because we are on a different page again. Because you got Tampa Bay, I got New Orleans. I got New Orleans because they have the best backup quarterback in the league. I have Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston is a starter on certain teams. Who do you think starts for the Cardinals tomorrow? Jameis Winston or Josh Dobbs?
well, I mean, how Josh Dobbs played against the Cowboys.
Oh, don't tell me you're going to say Josh Dobbs.
Oh. I'm going to go with Jameis Winston.
Because Jameis Winston, yes, he's had a lot of turnovers in his career. But at one point, this dude was the passing leader in the NFL. He had over 5,000 passing yards at one point in his career.
Mm-hmm.
It was also against Tampa Bay, mind you. So I think Jameis is easily the best backup quarterback in the league. You look, Alvin Kamara's back, so they have a running game now. They still have Taysom Hill, who's an Army Swiss knife. They have Chris Olave. They have a lot of weapons in New Orleans that's going to be able to support Jameis, who's a starting quarterback on a lot of teams in the league, who people forget that a lot. And you look over the Commanders, wow. Sorry, I'm looking at something right now that says the Commanders. You look over at Tampa Bay. I said last week I thought they were sort of a fraudulent team, and I think that was proven last week that they finally lost their first game. I think the Buccaneers, you look, they have a worse rated defense in the NFL right now. The Saints have a better defense on top of it. I'm taking the Saints.
Okay.
Wow, okay.
Another one.
Here's why I said the Commanders a minute ago. Next game, Commanders or the Eagles? Fly, Eagles, fly.
I mean, do I even have to explain?
That's what you said last week with the Texans and Cowboys game. I said it too. Let me guess. You're going with the Commanders. Command.
Going with the Redskins. No, I'm just kidding. Even though they're being sued, they're gonna get that name back.
They're not. They're not.
They're gonna get it back.
Here's why they're not. Because, and here's the most fucked up part of all of it. Do you know who's suing them?
Yeah.
A Native American based company type of deal. Literally, the Native Americans are suing them for taking it away.
Hmm?
But here's why they won't. Because there's going to be some girl somewhere with blue hair who identifies as a dolphin who will say it's offensive. These liberals are going to run out there and go, "Oh my God, that's the most offensive thing in the world," and they're going to cry PC principle, and they're going to get their way like they always do.
Nope.
Better shut up before I get us canceled.
They're gonna win. I'm tired of seeing Washington or the Commanders.
Take command.
Or the football team.
I was even okay with that. Here's why I was okay with that. Okay, these liberals want to take away a historic team's franchise name and take truly. The Commanders aren't respected anymore. No one respects the Commanders, and it's because they're called the Commanders. They gave in to PC principle. Exactly. It's kind of sad.
Yeah. But I'm going with Philadelphia.
Not too much to explain, you don't think?
Yeah, not too much explained. Philadelphia is Philadelphia. They have that high-powering offense. DeAndre Swift looking swifty as swifty can be.
Swifty.
So, even though how he played against Tampa Bay, I mean, it was parting the Red Sea on the offensive line. It was nuts. It was crazy.
Yes.
So and the Commanders cannot stop that offense at all. So give me Philadelphia.
I agree with you. Now, I will say this. Ever since they lost Shane Steichen as their offensive coordinator, their offense hasn't looked as good.
Mm-hmm.
That offense is still good. Jalen Hurts is still putting up very, very good numbers. They're 3-0. So, okay. So you look at that, okay. We would both agree. I think anyone with a high football IQ would agree the Eagles have a much better offense than the Commanders do. So you look at their defense. Their defense are actually both rated about the same. The Eagles are allowing 24 points a game. The Commanders 24.5 points a game. So the Eagles have a slightly better defense. I think the Eagles' defense is better than that stat shows right there.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts. Who we going to bet with? Sam Howell, who had a shitty ass game last week, 3 interceptions, or Jalen Hurts?
Right.
Played a Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts. The Eagles' offense, like I said, isn't doing what it did last year, but it's still well good enough to beat the Commanders.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No question.
Okay. Moving forward, who we have? Do we have the Cincinnati Bengals or the Tennessee Titans?
Well,
I'm sorry. Sam Howell had 4 interceptions last week. My apologies. Even worse than I said. Corrected myself. Moving forward. Bengals, Titans.
The Tennessee Titans has not been looking good at all whatsoever. Even though they had that one game against the Chargers, which honestly I think they shouldn't have won because they looked horrible. I mean, not horrible. I should say they put up 27 points. But Derrick Henry with 25 carries, only 80 rushing yards. Like, you're the biggest running back in the league, and you're getting stopped, and you're getting 25 carries. Like, that's just wow to me.
25 carries or 25 yards?
No, 25 carries with only 80 yards.
Oh, you're talking about against the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm talking about against the Chargers.
Okay. Because against the Browns, he had about 20 rushing yards. Like, my bad. I was confused.
Yeah, but yeah, he had 11 carries, only 20 rushing yards. It's like these teams are now finally realizing how to stop the run, and it's.
Okay.
But I think that the Cincinnati is going to beat that run offense again. And Taysom Hill. God. Ryan Tannehill. Yeah, he's clueless. He's clueless out there. He has no weapons. D-Hop is not the way he was because he doesn't have a good quarterback. He doesn't have a quarterback to catch the ball.
Okay.
Out of all the teams that he mentioned that he wanted to be on, he chose Tennessee. I don't know why, but
it has to be more money. Yeah, there has to be more money.
Yeah, we don't even know what the other teams actually try to give out. So it might be more money, but who knows? But give me Cincinnati on this one.
I agree. So I see you're not making that mistake again, betting against them last week.
Yep.
So you look at Cincinnati and you look at Tennessee. Both their offenses are. Bengals actually have the 3rd worst offense in the league right now, which makes no sense. And the Titans actually have a worse offense than that, with the 2nd worst. The only team worse than the Titans on offense is the Jets. So both these teams have been struggling on offense. Both these teams really have been struggling throughout the season. Yes, the Bengals won last week, but it wasn't pretty.
Nope.
Let's not go out there and act like Joe Burrow looked great. He completed 53% of his passes. That's Justin Fields kind of numbers. He had no touchdowns, 1 interception. His QBR was 59. So yes, they won, but I think Joe Burrow might be playing injured. I don't know that. I can't prove that.
I don't think he's 100% healthy because you looked at all the, especially when his comeback year,
Right.
That his comeback here looked amazing. So if you look at it at that compared to this right now, it's not. I don't think he's not 100% healthy.
I'm also one of those people that believe if you're out there, no excuses. If you're healthy enough to suit it up, no excuse. So you look at him for the season, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's having a really off year, but they were able to get on track last week. I told everyone last week that I would be as far to say that the Bengals would miss the playoffs totally if they lost against the Rams. They won. I think they're on track now. They finally got not Justin Jefferson, excuse me, Jamar Chase on track. He had over 100 yards receiving. They've had T. Higgins involved, not really last week, but the week before that. So they're starting to kind of slowly get it together. I think they're on track now. I think they beat the Titans. All right. Speaking of Vegas Raiders, the Chargers.
Well,
We're doing good. Let's see if we can have 3 in a row here. Had 2 in a row predicting the same.
The way Jimmy Garoppolo has been showing up against the Bills, he looked horrible. One touchdown, 2 interceptions against the Bills. And then 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions against the Steelers. And I don't think. And the Los Angeles Chargers has a lot better defense than the Pittsburgh Steelers, secondary wise, because we couldn't stop Davante Adams. So, but I think Jimmy Garoppolo is not fitting well in the Las Vegas Raiders. To me, San Francisco should have kept him, in my opinion.
Really?
Because he felt really good in that culture, in that area of the San Francisco.
Right, but they got Brock Purdy, who is their starter in that guy.
Oh yeah,
they should have kept Jimmy G as a starter.
No, it's a backup.
Now, would he be willing to do that?
No,
I don't think he was.
If you look at his stats now, he's a backup. So,
right,
it's not looking good for him. And you got Justin Herbert. He's probably one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league right now, even though his record does not show it. Even though he went 36-34 against the Dolphins, 27-24 against the Tennessee Titans, and they won against the Vikings 28-24. And so those are really close games, high offense scoring. And they have a really high scoring offense. And I don't think the Raiders cannot stop that. So give me the Los Angeles Chargers.
I agree with you. Again, excuse my cough. I'm getting over a bit of a cold here. But you're right. I think Jimmy G, I've said this, he's a mediocre to good quarterback. He is a good quarterback if you can surround him with good receivers, an elite running game, an elite offensive line, and an elite defense. The Niners have all those things. They have the best running back in football right now in CMC. They have, in my opinion, probably the best defense in the league. They're my pick to win the Super Bowl. I know stats don't say they're the best defense in the league. Stats say, because I'm a big stats guy, stats say they have the 4th best defense in the league. So, again, I think they have the best defense in the league. I think. Now, I will say Jimmy G did clear concussion protocol. So we aren't going to see Brian Hoyer or Aiden O'Connell at quarterback. As a Purdue fan, I was kind of hoping to maybe see Aiden O'Connell get a chance.
Mm-hmm.
But that's good for Raiders fans. The Chargers offense is way too good. Herbert is a good quarterback. Here's the thing about the Chargers. They're going to go out there and beat up on a shitty team.
Yep.
That's what's going to happen. So give me the Chargers. All day. Okay. Who we got this one? New England Patriots for the Dallas Cowboys. And we got a tired man over there.
Excuse me. For me, New England hasn't been looking good against when it comes to a high-powered defense like the Eagles and the Dolphins, for example. They both have high-powered defense, in my opinion. Miami, when it comes to a crappy team, they look like they're high-powered. And same way with New England. I think Bill Belichick should be done. He should retire. Get in the Hall of Fame. You're the first ballot coaching Hall of Famer. This should be your last year. Don't try to get another ring. It's not worth it, in my opinion. But give me Dallas on this one.
Even though they lost to the Cardinals?
Even though they lost to the Cardinals. But give me Dallas on this one just because they're Dallas. I mean, you would think they would have won against the Cardinals. They probably would have, because in paper and everything, they had everything against the Cardinals. But yeah, okay. Give me the Cowboys over New England.
I agree. I think as much as I hate Dallas, and I hate them, and yes, it was the funniest thing in the world to see the Cardinals beat the Cowboys. It was hilarious. However, it was a fluke. I don't even like saying fluke because the NFL stands for anything can happen. Any given Sunday, as a lot of people say.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are professionals. They're all elite players, so anything can happen. And NFL teams, even the worst team in the NFL, is talented enough to kick the number one in the country for college football's ass. If you take the number one rated football team in football in college against the worst NFL team, the NFL team will kick their ass every time.
I don't think so. I don't think about that one. I will probably.
I do.
Chicago?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Real? Because think about it, though.
Chicago's horrible. Same with Denver. They could win, but Chicago, no.
Oh, God. Here's the thing, though. Even the worst player on the Bears was an all-star in college. That's why he's in the NFL. So even your worst players are elite.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying though I don't think so.
I think if you put the Bears up against the Georgia Bulldogs, the Bears win 40-10. Or 40 even to 0. I think 10's being nice. To be in the NFL at all, that is hard.
It is hard.
Squad player, it is almost impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So even against the worst team, anything can happen. I can't believe you think that. You really think a college team could be a professional team?
Yeah. Especially the Chicago Bears right now. Yes.
Oh.
Give me Deion's Colorado Bulls. Buffaloes, yes. Buffaloes, yeah. Gee. Over.
There's no way.
Chicago Bears.
What? Colorado's they're not even ranked anymore. They just got their ass kicked.
I don't care. I would take Deion over Buffalo any day, or over Chicago any day.
Okay, and I never thought I would be on this podcast defending the Bears, but they're an NFL team, man.
NFL team or not, I still believe they are horrible.
Yes, horrible.
Justin Fields is horrible.
He is.
Their defense is horrible.
Yes, on the NFL level, yes. But Fields was elite at Ohio State. It's because it's college.
That's in the Big Ten, though. I'll say this. What other Big Ten quarterback had a good, successful career in the NFL? Name one.
Big Ten quarterback. I'm trying to think of Big Ten teams. Okay, so in the Big Ten, you have Drew Brees.
In the last 10 years.
Drew Brees. I mean, retired that long. 2-3 years probably. Tom Brady. Michigan's a Big Ten school. Oh, I can't believe you. You kill me sometimes. Michigan's a Big Ten school. They're elite. They're number 2 in the nation right now. Oh, let us know in the comment. We won't sit here and argue about this the entire time. Let us. That's why we love sports. But let us know in the comments below. What do you guys think? You agree with JB on this? Or do you agree with me? Who would you have? What would you think? Okay, I'll ask you. What do you think the score would be if Georgia played Chicago? What's the score?
If Georgia played Chicago right now.
Yep, because they're the number 1 rated school.
Well, it's going to be a high scoring game. Probably 42-40.
Dear Mother Mary, dear Jesus, Mother of God. Again, let us know. And I think it's 40-0, 50-0, 60-0. Maybe 3, maybe 10 at worst case scenario. But it's an ass whipping. The NFL. Okay. Let us know in the comments below. What do you guys think? You got JB's hard take on this. You got my take on this. That's a pretty hot take.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I haven't even predicted the game yet. Really. But give me Dallas. They're going to bounce back. They're going to be able to. They shit the bed against the Cardinals. I think they probably looked ahead on the schedule and went, oh, there's the Cardinals. Check mark. You can't do that in the NFL. The teams are too good, even though JB seems to think that a college team will beat a professional team. Again. Anyway, give me Dallas. They're going to bounce back. All right. Moving forward. Oh, Arizona Cardinals. Arizona. Or the San Francisco 49ers.
Arizona. No. Give me San Francisco. Right. They're on a tear right now.
Yeah. The best team in football.
Opinion. They're the best team in football. Christian McCaffrey can't be stopped. No. Brock Purdy, he's living up to his legacy.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, Mr. Relevant is going to be here to stay.
Yeah, he is. He's here to stay.
He's going to win a few Super Bowls.
I agree, so long as they can keep that team intact.
Yep, if they keep that team intact, it's going to be game over. I think San Francisco is going to be the new New England Patriots.
I wouldn't go that far.
If they keep this team for many years to come,
okay,
I do believe it's going to be a dynasty.
Okay, all right, now a dynasty is one thing, but what New England did is insane because Tom Brady single-handedly has more Super Bowls than any other team in the NFL. Do you think it's like we're talking that good, or are we talking 2 or 3 rings?
Probably 2 or 3, maybe 4.
4 is like best case scenario. Like
4 would be best case scenario. 3 would be good. 3 and everything goes good. And if they try to keep the same team, probably put we all know how the off season goes here and there. Some people go, some people stay. But if they keep the majority core of the San Francisco 49ers, they're going to go places.
Oh, absolutely. And they would have won the Super Bowl last year if they had a quarterback to play in the NFC Championship game.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, Brock Purdy, he's coming out here 4 touchdowns, no interceptions at this point. He looks like that dude. They're undefeated. You look at the defensive ratings. Right now, the Niners have the 4th best defense in the league. Like I said, they're averaging 15 points a game. You look down the Cardinals, they're allowing 25.5 points a game. The Cardinals, yes, I'll give you credit, guys. You guys did really good last week. You beat a team you shouldn't have. You had an upset. Good to see. Good to see you guys win. Good to see for Josh Dobbs to get his first win as a starter. But they're way outmatched this time. The Niners are going to go in there. They're going to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to murder. It's not going to be close.
I agree.
Close. Give me Niners. Okay. Oh God, we're gonna have to watch this on TV on Sunday Night Football. Are you serious?
It's scripted.
It's not scripted.
They all thought Aaron Rodgers was going to play. And guess what happened?
He was going to. Right. The NFL is scripted. But
Scripts.
you got Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, or Zach Wilson and the Jets.
J-E-T. Jets. No, give me Kansas City. I think it's going to be another 41-10.
Yeah.
Type of thing. I mean, there's no question about it. Jets is going to be screwed.
They're screwed. I agree.
They're not going to answer to nothing.
No, that you're correct.
There's going to be no answers to their prayers are not going to be answered on Sunday night. I'll tell you that. Nothing's going to be answered. It's just going to be just the hang up button. Say try again tomorrow.
I 100% agree. I think it's going to be an ass kicking. But here's what I want to talk about with the Jets. Obviously, we can talk about the Chiefs all day. Blah 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 blah. They look great. They kicked the Bears' ass. They look great. Mm-hmm. But you look at the Jets. I think Robert Saleh is starting to lose that locker room. I've seen reports that the Jets' defense is starting to get very frustrated at the fact that they're keeping Zach Wilson at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
They're starting him this weekend too. Zach Wilson has to play better. I don't think they're going to win. No one thinks they're going to win. I don't even think the Jets think they're going to win. But he has to play better in order to keep his job. If he goes out there and it looks like crap again, like totally crap, like 3 interceptions, less than 200 passing yards, less than 100 passing yards, they're going to have his head in New York.
They should have signed Colin Kaepernick.
No. What they need to do, truly, if you look at it, Colin Kaepernick hasn't played in forever. He's not NFL ready. I guess you could trade for Kirk Cousins, but Aaron Rodgers plans to play next year, so I don't know why you would do that.
But they did sign a quarterback, though. They did sign one.
Yeah. Trevor Siemian. In other words,
with all the quarterbacks that's out there, man.
All right, you got Trevor Siemian, Tim Boyle, Zach Wilson. You're not beating the Chiefs. You're just not.
That was a good quarterback room right there.
They need to change their quarterback, or Robert Saleh is going to lose that locker room if he hasn't already. Let's say you're an elite Jets defense. You're Sauce Gardner, and you see this coach out there putting this garbage quarterback out, and he knows he's garbage. He knows that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel?
I wouldn't even try my hardest.
Exactly my point. He's going to lose that locker room. They need to make a quarterback change.
Mm-hmm. And they need to change it now.
Shit, put Tim Boyle in. Who cares? How much worse can he play than Zach Wilson already is?
Tim Tebow to the rescue.
We'll go with that. Who? Tebow Mania. We'll get Skip Bayless on the show. Anyway, the last game of the week. Last game of the week. You got Seattle Seahawks or the New York Football Giants.
Oh man. I've given up on the New York Giants. And I would think that their defense was actually going to do something, because their defense looks great. They got a good safety. They got Isaiah Simmons. And their offense actually got some pretty good upgrades with Darren Waller, but even though they did lose Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
So, and that's a real tougher right there. But
he still might play.
He still might, but with that leg still being an issue, I lost all hope with the New York Giants. So they let me down quite a few times. Actually, let me down with I think the Cowboys game.
Yep.
That definitely hurt me.
Let's double check. I have the other ones right here. The Cowboys game, that was week 1, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, you had New York.
Yep. So
got my numbers right here.
So facts. Yeah, it's they let me down, so I'm gonna take with Seattle because they have a better offense. They have so many. Sorry, my voice is getting. If you know from my short take as well, I am going over a cold right now. So
like we both are. But here we still are, giving the people what they need.
That's right. But yeah, right. Kenneth Walker, he's a wrecking ball. Looking better than Derrick Henry.
So far.
Yeah, so far. I mean, honestly, Najee Harris is looking better than Derrick Henry right now.
Debatable.
It's barely it's a hair. It's a thin hairline. But and then you got DK and Tyler Lockett and Noah Fant. So, but yeah, Seattle's a lot better team. So give me Seattle on this one.
Yeah, I 100% agree with this. I think the Giants. So you take away their back of 28-0 against the Cardinals. They haven't really beaten a team that's worth a damn. They've lost against 2 really good teams. The Seahawks were a playoff team last year. I've said it multiple times in this podcast. I haven't won the playoffs again. Yes, Seattle kind of crapped the bed week 1 against the Rams, but since then, they've beaten the Lions in overtime by 6 and beaten the Panthers by 10. They're all playing Monday Night Football against a overrated Giants team. Geno Smith looks like himself last year. 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, 98.2 QBR. Kenneth Walker, like you said, he has 4 touchdowns the last 2 games total, so he looks like the real deal. They got way more playmakers on their side of the ball. Like you said, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, things of that nature. So, yeah, give me Seattle. Seattle is an underrated team. They are a dark horse in the NFC in my book. I wouldn't be surprised to see Seattle in the divisional round of the playoffs. I'd be willing to say that. Yeah. Seahawks will be they'll win the wild card game. Seattle, I think, is a really, really good team. Not great, not elite, but really good. Me, Seattle.
I agree with you.
Well, sounds like me and JB have predicted week 4. There's gonna be a lot of different. There's gonna be a lot of shakeups after this because me and JB have virtually. A lot
of shakeups. Yes,
because we virtually agreed on none of this. Let us know. Do you think number 1 rated Georgia could beat an NFL team, the Bears? Do you think that? Let us know in the comments below.
I think so.
That's all we have for today's Unbiased Hard Take. We are going to do a small segment, though, in the world of the NBA. Damian Lillard was traded to the Milwaukee Bucks rather than the Miami Heat. Damian Lillard's agent came out and said that Heat did everything they could do, but it takes 2 people to do a trade. And Jimmy Butler came out and said he thinks the NBA needs to investigate this. Do you think the Blazers refuse to trade or to the Heat regardless?
Oh, I do believe so. It's what he wanted the first time. He even said it. He wanted to be a Miami Heat at the beginning during the finals.
Yes.
So, and Trailblazers didn't want it. So,
and you know, it's kind of sad. That just shows you what kind of organization the Blazers are. Dame's went out there and made you relevant. You've made the playoffs multiple times with him. He's an all-star. He's done everything for you guys, and you guys have been irrelevant forever. And you go out there and you do that to him. All he asked is you trade him to the Eastern Conference. Totally different conference, not in your division, not in your conference, but you refuse to do so. And Miami offered you a fair trade of 2 first-round picks and Tyler Hero. That is a very fair trade. The NBA
especially the 2
for
first-round picks. Like,
I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off as a Heat fan. Here's why. We put all our eggs in this basket.
Yep.
And now what we have to show for it? Training camp, preseason starts in less than a week. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated.
And we still don't have a playmaker.
Well,
we got one, but Damian Lillard was our missing piece, and now there's hardly no one there to fit the shoes that we needed.
It's not. I see a report. We're interested in Jrue Holiday. He might be a good bench player or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because they traded him to the Bucks, who's in our conference and in our division.
Yep.
Man, you look at the Miami Heat, I'm not worried about how they're going to play. I think they're going to be a title contender again. I think people are overlooking us again. Tyler Hero's back from injury. We still have Caleb Martin. We still have Jimmy Butler. We still have Bam. We did add Thomas Bryant at center. We added Josh Richardson. He's back. We still kept Kevin Love. We have Kyle Lowry, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So we still have Duncan Robinson as well. So we're still going to be a title contender, but I'm very frustrated because Dame's what we needed. It's what we needed.
Yep.
But Milwaukee might be the favorite now to win the entire Eastern Conference.
Oh yeah, they went up. I think like what plus 400.
It was quite a bit.
It was quite a bit
in Vegas. Yeah.
So
but it is. I'm frustrated. I'm as a Heat fan, I'm frustrated.
Yeah, I'm frustrated about it too. So that's all the time we have for today's Unbiased Hard Take. Again, like, subscribe, hit the bell, like us on Facebook, check out that sports fact of the day. We're going to give you everything college football, college basketball, NBA, NFL related. Right now, we're more into the NFL type of stuff, but with the NBA coming up, college football will start getting into the conference games here soon. So we'll be talking a little bit about that. Anything you want to add, JB? Nope, everything. It will be, all links will be in the description in the comments. Like we said, let us know who's gonna win, Georgia or Chicago. In the comments down below. Let's go.
And yeah, in the comments, I'm gonna let it go. I'm not gonna slap this man, so I'm gonna let it go today. But again, that's all we have for today. Wait for this video. It'll be up today at some point. Keep an eye out.
Keep an eye out. Hit the notifications. Let's go.
Until next time.
Go
Pat. Go Pat. Go.
Go Steelers. Let's go, baby. See ya.